the summer of 2015, a group of 7 North Preston residents, with the help of a Dalhousie University law student, started the Land Recovery Initiative.
Reading over it, I mean, to have to get someone who you're not related to, it's like you put things in place, but you want us to, to play a game with you, but you're not going to give us the full equipment to play the game. Like, it's just setting it up still to continue to fail.
The goal is to educate their community about the problem and urge the provincial government to take action.
This property has been granted to us years ago, many, many years ago. We're dating all the way back to the 1800s when land entitlements have not been cleared up as to date. So with something like that, we've decided that now's the time where we are now up to snuff on education and information, and we decided that we were going to do something about it.
I joined this group because I would like to myself take pride in how I helped us to recover our land. Like, there's a lot of people that's here in North Preston that's having problem with their land clarification and getting their deeds and stuff. So I take pride in helping them with that.
When the Land Title Clarification Act was created in 1963, the provincial government allocated money for staff, lawyers, and surveyors to help residents go through the process. That money is long gone. It can now cost more than $10,000 to make a claim, one of the reasons many families choose not to make one.
There was an actual program in place. There was funding to help people with pro bono, with lawyers, with surveyors. And so for me, I think the effect of not having that same program available to people is an injustice in itself. And so I'd like to see government step up and offer some funding.
So far, that's not happening. But the provincial government is participating in a pilot project started by the Nova Scotia Barrister Society in 2014 to help improve the land title process. No one from the provincial government would agree to an on-camera interview. This is part of an emailed response. Over the years, the resources have been removed from the program. The title clarification process is challenging. Without assistance of lawyers and surveyors, many residents in the land title clarification areas are not able to gain clear title to their property. That is why the provincial government is working with outside agencies to develop a pilot project to assist residents living in the areas of East Preston, North Preston, and Cherrybrook through the land titles clarification process.
But he seemed to be saying that he had been working on some of these files, or he's aware of them.
Emma Halpern is the equity officer with the Nova Scotia Barrister Society.
The lack of access to title to land for African Nova Scotian communities, in particular North Preston and East Preston, is an injustice, and it is an access to justice issue. For individuals who have had an injustice, and experienced racism and discrimination and injustice for many, many, many generations, that we would see that a change in that going forward, that we would see that at least specific to land issues, that individuals and families and communities would be able to have their land that is their land, to do what they want with it, but ultimately to preserve the long-term viability of the community.
Looming over this situation is the shadow of Africville, the historic Black community that was demolished by the city of Halifax in the 1960s. Only a handful of Africville residents had land title, making it easy to evict them.
The community is totally wiped out, so their whole identity is lost. And I feel if we allow government or the developers that are going to probably try to come in here, just take our land, it will be the same thing.
I can say, well, for as long as I'm alive anyway, this is not going to be another Africville, because we're going to maintain our property and we're going to teach our children.
It's scary because, being a young parent, to know where I grew up and the place where I lived my whole life, it's a possibility that it may not be there in the next 50 years for my kids to be able to understand that. That's a scary thought.
That's why these residents say after 250 years without title, the provincial government should make this issue a priority. They say the future of their community depends on it.
Well, you're definitely going to hear from us on a loud spectrum. We're going to be going forcefully after our government to make sure that they actually become accountable for some of these atrocities in our past.